let the light shine through. No matter how you look at it, you'll always know it's true. GameCube, it makes a big fuss. GameCube, Nintendo bless us. GameCube, it's our easily surpass the rest, and when it comes to games, we'll always get the best. GameCube, it's our easily surpass the rest, and when it comes to games, we'll always get the best. It's time to open up, to let your heart decide what's true. GameCube, it makes a big fuss. GameCube, Nintendo bless us. GameCube, it's our easily surpass the rest, and when it comes to games, we'll always get the best. GameCube, it makes a big fuss. GameCube, Nintendo bless us. GameCube, it's how we recently surpass the rest, and when it comes to games, we'll always get the best.
Listen and you'll hear the heartbeat of a universe teeming with force. See all the forms and the faces of nature taking its course. And feel all the wonderful motion flowing through things far and near. Nature will share her secrets when we are ready to hear. Energy, these are a few of your faces, glowing in timeless places, bringing our lives new graces. Energy, there is no living without you. We must keep learning about you. Now is the time to find how to. Energy, you are profound. You make the world go round and round. You make the world go round. You make the world go round. You make the world go round.
Thank you, Energy. Hi, everybody. From Drift's Boat. Big Boat Bacalar, that's what we always call him. How's it going, everyone? Thank you, Blurry Leg, for 9 months. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate it. Hi, everybody. I probably sound a little stuffy still, but I'm feeling better. Yeah, I'm feeling better. Whatever it was. I feel like whenever I travel, I often get some kind of like 24-hour cold afterwards. I don't know. It like doesn't happen right away. Who knows? I mean, Sky Rizzy is like an immunity suppressant, right? So I am more susceptible to catching little bugs and things like that. You know, it's just kind of the way it is sometimes. Hope you're all doing well. So we are taking a little Elden Ring break today. Don't panic, but there's this newer game called Endacopia. Came out like about last week. Got really positive users on Steam. Grub recommended me. It's some kind of point and click adventure game that sort of looks like early computer edutainment games. I don't know if it's like a Frog Fraction situation. I don't know what's going on here. So we're going to see what is up with Endacopia. Largely so, you know, part of me's like, boy, I need something to talk about the Bombcast tomorrow except for just Elden Ring, you know? So here's some new game. Gonna play. It's gonna be good. Gonna be good. Yeah, people like this. We could just launch the option for the game. Let's just launch the game. You haven't launched this game yet, so give it a second. The throat feels fine. Not too sore right now. Not too sore. I rested a lot. Like after work, I basically just went right to bed. What the? Oh, we don't need you right now, death counter. Be funny if we did. Okay. Guess parts of this game may be disturbing. Okay. Hold chip plus the just volume in game. Okay. Let me know if that's good for volume. You sound good? Is it too low? Seems like it might be a little low. Let me know if it's too low. Kind of low. Maybe here. Like, it was already not too loud. Just to start. What? Do is left click. Do what is right click. Okay. Oh, we also wait. We have clicking and movement. Okay. Yes. Observe, interact, speak, item. Got it. The classics. I get. Okay. It's like the Star Trek game. Poor little idiot can't read. So it's weird. I do point and click to look at things, but I don't point and click to move. It's a soccer ball. What's that cling cling noise? Let's see. What's going to be a good place for my business in this game? Maybe bottom right. Something in there. We should grab it. Okay. What's this clinging? Reach your hand in there. Oh no. What time is it? I think it's 12:13. Can we talk to you? No. Here, use your computer. Yeah, where's the cheat? Computer sucks. Whoa. That was a birthday cake. Why is there an electrical thing up there? Oh, it's this thing again. A drawing that you made. Something's wrong with it. What does that mean? Your drawing has a heartbeat, dude. Hello? Who are you? Why are you here? Comfy. What do you want? You're hungry. What do you want to eat? Coins. Is there anywhere I can find some coins? Yeah, I think I have to moisturize them. I think I saw this episode of Doctor Who. Why should I feed you? Keep a secret. What's the secret? Ah, coins first. That's fair. That's fair. Alright, I'm gonna work on getting some coins, buddy. Oh, my computer's not plugged in. There we go. I've got Rayman hands. Okay. Macro tough doors. XP. Hell yeah. I think I'm mellow. Well, I guess in my game. Good. It's in this folder. The hell? Huh? Okay, have a blah blah blah. Fuck. Oh, he doesn't want to be paddled. Shit. Truck. Whoa, what happened there? Uh-oh. Got us. I actually do remember. I literally remember opening up pictures of like women and old computers and waiting for the lines to scroll. I am that old. Hi, sign. He's sleeping. I guess we'll let him sleep. Sign with a mouth. Must it scream? It says, please open. Well then, if it says please open. Oh, we woken him up. Are you dense? I misread. I don't know how to read. I can't read. It's tragic. I'm trying to learn how to read. I do prefer mouthless signs. That hurt. Well, it was a mean thing to say. Well, no, I want a tip. Oh, shit. Well, we blew it. We blew our chance of tip, apparently. What the fuck? This is like that. This is like the game we made Vinny play at PAX. Hi. Who are you? This hit me hard. Uh-oh. You have to go on an adventure? This is like a Rick and Morty adventure? What do you mean? What kind of adventure? One that'll get you out of here for a while. Okay. The password. It's correct. It was butt. Oh, no. Okay. Guess we have an objective. This is like in Monkey Island when you need to like do the pirate quests, right? We have an objective. You're feeling skeptic? I get it. The trials. Yep. Let's see. There was another login on the computer. Oh, you're back. Sorry what I said before. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm very, very sorry. I love signs with mouths. They're my favorite signs. You be helpful? Yeah, yeah, tip. Mother told me I should help those who needed guidance. Okay, thank you, tip. So do you need any help? Yeah. I'll take a tip. So you have to fill behind the drawing. Oh, this is an actual tip system. Yeah. It's selfish, and he only helps you if you feed it. Yeah. Where's the kitchen? The vents. What? The vents open by... How was I supposed to know that? Yes, this is a great question. Through the power of curiosity. That is actually how these games work, to be fair, so... I guess I should have tried to use my chair at some point. Like, why not? We... There we go. Oh, jeez. Oh, no. I don't think I'd do well if I had actually crawled through a vent. It seems scary. This kind of looks like the kitchen from Maniac Mansion. The eyes is what this could say. Yeah, why are there footsteps? What the fuck? Do you have any coins? Yes, me. Oh, it's Meta. Where's the boy hiding? Oh, I'll show you where, idiot. Like I would. Right there, stupid. Oh, I'm pretty smart. Hey, Chuck, thank you for the raid. Hi, everybody. We're playing... What's this game called? You're welcome. I'm this kid's guardian angel, apparently. We're playing Endacopia. It's a new kind of point-and-click thingy. It's just like Police Knots when you think about it. What the fuck? All right. It's only solving good combinations this can be, right? I need to play Police Knots and Snatcher at some point. Yep, there we go. Process of elimination. Oh, I see what's going on here. All right, look at us go. Yeah, I bet the soundtrack's amazing. He doesn't want cheese though. Well, the rat might want some cheese. Thatcher's a good winter game. Interesting. Chuck, can I tell people about the Barack Obama thing we had in Discord earlier? So I don't know if you saw Grub's short where he talks about nipple DLC. It did very well on like TikTok and Instagram. So we want to do some more of them. And I'm like, I want to do one where it looks like I'm talking to Barack Obama about Star Tropics. And for some reason, Chuck was immediately like, Chuck's position was immediately, Mike, you can't pretend to be Barack Obama. That'd be distasteful. I was like, Chuck, I didn't say I was going to do that. No, I'm going to use like clips and stuff. Like I'll use the power of editing. I saw your comment, Carl. He had like the talk. I'm not that problematic. I bet there's nothing else in here but the cheese. I bet we can leave now. No doorknob. How do we get out of here? Oh shit. Well, there's a stool there. There we go. Mystery solved. So, oh shit. Smash. Gable, you have 46. Don't give up, skeleton. Alright. I bet this hole is gonna like cheese. Minor chords. Thank you so much for 2 months. Appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Nothing in there. Well, let's take him. You're not touching with your hands. What are our options here, buddy? Use the plunger then. I don't know. Yeah, he's not talking. I still don't know where these. You want to kill it. Use the soccer ball and kill him. Oh. I'm trying to figure out. Okay, okay. Oh yeah. This is like in Mario Odyssey with the jump the rope. I love that shit. The music's kicking in. I'm in the zone. Oh yeah. Fuck. Damn it, I suck. Oh, that was exciting. Where is this clinking? There's coins somewhere. Let's try the other login. Where he's gonna have a password. I could do a good Todd Howard impression. No, we can't be Henry. I don't know what this door things was ever about. That's Henry. Oh. So I live with Henry. Home. Weird that I can, like, zoom in on this clock. I can't seem to interact with it in any way after that. Can't even look at it. Ah. Ah ha ha. There we go. Ka-ching. Alright. Got some quarters for you. Yum num. The secret is Cheshire. That's the password.
Your time is over.
The fuck? Yeah? No, I don't know how to defend myself. The fuck is this? Is it Punch Out? Or is it Infinity Blade? Remember Infinity Blade? Yeah, I'm ready. I'm done for your tutorial. Oh. Oh. Okay, I see. I see what's going on here. It's music, not bad. Gotta like stop blocking something so I can get my stamina up. Okay. Got him. All right. Like that was actually kind of fun. Yeah, I want to punch more people like that. That was good. Good punching mechanics. Alright, we know the password. Cheshire. How do you spell Cheshire? Was there an H in Cheshire? Is there an H in Cheshire, chat? Yeah, okay. Hello. Ready. Here we go. What? C, H, and T are the exact same things, so it's naturally Cheshire. Thank you, Dan. That sounds right. Well, here I go. Oh, no. Am I going to have to find all my pieces? Yep. Chapter 1. The game just started. This is the start of the game? Huh. Oh, I can't do anything. Oh, where's my shoes? Okay. Alright, this is something. Yeah, all my pieces are right around here. Hi, Tip. Where is the rest of me? What's the plan, Tip? Go find your mouth, your hands, and ears. Yeah, very Monkey Island. Classic. Here's 3 things you need to do. Yes, if I need tips, I need my mouth. Chickens are scary. I'm glad other people are realizing this. Dan, what's your favorite thing about Bacalar's boat? How expensive it is, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Hi, can I have that? I don't have any hands. Ah! Okay. Oh, what currency? Okay. What the hell is this? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Minus 50. Alright, if you say so. If you say so, game. I don't know what I did, but can't use that yet. Whoa. I don't have any hands. No, I don't need hands. Alright, get everything green. I get it. I see what's happening here. I'm not really, like, taking any knowledge from this. I'm kind of just fucking around. Eventually, it'll all work out. Oh, they actually literally have wires connecting them, I see. So this one, will activate both of these. Alright. This one only does those 2. if I can get into a situation where just these two left, I could solve the puzzle. Right now. This isn't gonna be enough. Oh, wait, yes it is. This is what I said I wanted to do. Oh, this isn't gonna be good enough. This is gonna turn that off too. Right? Yep. Yep, not quite, not quite. These two are simply connected. Oh, shit. No, wait, this one goes up here as well. Damn it. None of them are as simple as they look. Wait. Aha! Hey. Let's go. Ah, I see. Fun. Here we go. You aren't allowed to like this if you didn't like Nacho the cross-eyed cat. Oh, somebody had already made that connection also. Good. Overruled. Just weave it? Just weave it? Let's check. Alright. No boy.
Go. Let you beg me talk. Help.
Oh, I should have been paying attention.
Work. Talk. Me.
Somebody look at the VOD. What did they say? Chat, this is a you puzzle now. Someone rewind. What did it say? I believe in you, chat. I can maybe do it myself too. Because I ain't doing that again. Let me go to you. Let me go to work. Okay, let me see here now. How do I rewind? Can I rewind it? You can't rewind a in progress stream, huh? That's bullshit. I have to enable rewind? Shit. I didn't know that was a thing. Bullshit. Let me go to you. Let me go to work. There's work.
Talk. Go. Let me go.
Okay, like that. Oh, let me go. Hi. He is backseating. Look, he's worse than you, chat. Oh. He is backseating. Let me go. Did something. Okay, so I could just literally talk to him this way. What was let?
Help. You. Talk.
I need help me talk.
Help. Me. Talk.
Okay. What? Jesus Christ. All right, great. Little inelegant that they did actually have to have the sign say, hey, you did it. You didn't really solve the puzzle there.
Go.
All right, there we go. See, there's an in-game hit system at all times. These things kind of need that. Back in the day, you had the LucasArts help hotline and then game facts. Now they just put that shit in the game. What does this mean, currency? I have 21 currency. You good? He not good. Okay. All right, we have a mouse. That's great. Hey, I beat Dragon Quest II HD 2D last night. That was fun. I know there's like a true ending. I kind of didn't want to bother, so I just sort of looked it up online, and that was fun too. Misery Town. Is this like that digital circus the kids are into? What's the point of this place? Talks like a Banjo-Kazooie character. Am I going to play 7 Reimagined? What's 7 Reimagined? Oh, I did play 7 Reimagined. I reviewed it. Right? I think I did. I think I reviewed it. I played it for sure. Pittsburgh. Hey, well, Grub, still getting those shots in on Pittsburgh. Is that a microphone? Nice. Oh, I want to use the microphone. This is actually just like something Dan did during our road trip. Literally a conversation Dan had to have with somebody. I'll be back. Yep, checking out this Endacopia thing. Yeah, I shouldn't. You'll use my mouth to open the door, I guess. Oh, is there some kind of cannon pinball game in here? That would be fun. Ah. I never did play Princess Tomato, no. Well, that was nice. Is it a different show in each thing? Well, all right then. Maybe that'll be important later. First try, baby. Easy. Easy. Oh, maybe there's a friendly nurse. Or this. Hi. Okay? There are more seats. Look, we might be back there, but let's move along now. Who did this to you? Trap. What am I supposed to do? Do you have knife? No. Okay. What for? For fun? Alright, we'll get a knife, buddy. I'll be back. Ooh. Let's go to the old saloon. Oh, yeah. Yeah, guns are bad. Dang, I don't even get like the old guns look cool thing. Well, we can't pick a gun up yet. We don't have hands. Ah! Ah! Try again. That's what I think would most likely happen if I went in there. That's funny. It's Prince of Persia style. Okay. I might corner myself. Oh, get it. Oh, okay. Careful. Yeah, I missed it. Like a weird version of Pac-Man, dude. Getting darker each time I get one of these. Yep. It sure is. Why is there a blood stain there? Quick, increase the gamma. Where's the intensity slider? Oh, my safe friend is here. Hello. What you thinking about? This thing about clowns and gestures? I forsook the intensity slider. You're right. I can't ask for it now. Oh, she's had a crush. Yeah, the entrance one. Yeah, totally as if. Ha ha ha. You. Is that a microphone? I've seen one up. Oh, that's not a real microphone. This is a good sprite. Yeah, it's a crush feel about you. You're not sure? Gasp! It looks like one of the tentacles dating the tentacle in her head. Yeah, I get it. Wow. All right. I think we're gonna have to get these kids together somehow. The funny man. That man has a knife. I need a knife. Are you the funny man? Oh. Cats are scary. That cat murdered me. That was nice. What to find a way to kill that cat. Sega Soccer Slam rules, man. I played Sega Soccer Slam. I didn't even own Mario Strikers. I was too busy with Sega Soccer Slam. Oh. Oh, shit. Oh, God. Battletoads. Oh, that was close. Yeah. Should be good. Like Space Ace. It's not so hard, Dan. Yeah. Yeah. Whew. Jeez. Good thing I'm a gamer. So these are the people I think I need to use the microphone to get away. Whoa. What are you two? Take a chance to hurt my feelings. I already hurt Pip's feelings. Maybe I can hurt you too. My name is Mello. Oh. You're gonna roast me. Hey, Encyclopedia Bro, thank you for 6 months. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hope you're having a good one. Oh, he made fun of my name. Wow, he's a real jerk, this guy. Yes, there are a lot of Adult Swim, but... Okay, we gotta get... We'll get him, though. Alright, we're gonna... This is like insult sword fighting. Oh. Let's see her now. You look like a... Oh, I can't zoom. You suck. Oh no. You want to get out? If I want to get under someone's skin, make fun of their insecurities. What are you insecure about? Is it his weight? I don't want to do that. Okay, we gotta learn this guy's insecurities somehow. What the hell? Yeah. Oh, it's a mime. Not sure what exactly is going on here. Hey, 46 and Tool, thanks for following. Appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's just another mime. What's wrong? The walls have shifted, huh? Fine. So if it looks like, if you can't tell, there are invisible walls everywhere. That's why I'm kind of fumbling around here. It's occurred to me you might not be able to notice that. Well, at least I have to pet it.
The walls have shifted.
Voice acting jump scare. Come on. They sure have, buddy. Is this Proggy's over here? Oh, baby. Come on. Oh, thank God. The hell is that? Oh, I have hands. Hooray. I'm almost whole. Yeah, I don't really understand the logic there at all. It's kind of just flailing around. They sound like rabbits. I love this shit. What type of clowns can't tell jokes anymore? What? Oh, just fucking nail them. Kill them, yeah. A dead clown. Dead clown can't tell jokes anymore, I get it. I guess. What'd you like me to do with this information? Is it telling me to kill that clown? Yeah. It didn't do anything. Like, this thing looks like it should open up there, but... don't know. Ah, right, we can open that door now. Hey, that girl's got a crush on you. I'll be back. I gotta go find my eyes. Was he even a clown? Anyways, I think we're probably good there for now. There's like kind of 3 main areas, so one other area must have my eyes. Oh, let's go save. Where does this go? Hello? Let's initiate small talk. Not too bad. Got friends? Oh, your friends are predictable. Or unpredictable. I can relate. I hear you, cat. Do you want to play hide and seek? I don't have eyes. What's the condition? I get to be the hider. What are you seeking? Okay. Let's do it. Are there rules? You cannot hide indoors, of course. Find me 3 times, I win. Sounds fair to me. I don't have legs, but I'm like a Rayman. I don't need them. I just need feet. Here we go. Keep your eyes out, everybody. Look at you. Hello, cow. I feel bad abandoning our game. I feel like I should find this guy first before I go into these places. We know they're not indoors. It's a cave. Oh, idiot. This one's smoking. There you are. Alright, new spot, new spot. Shit, this is gonna make it harder. It's so dark and spooky out now. No time for chit chat. A lot of area over here. This is where Backler would keep his boat if he was over here. Hey, Sun Guy Bubsy, thank you for 42 months. My goodness, appreciate that, Sun Guy. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wish I could go fishing. I can't see these. You might be hiding behind a gravestone. That's what I do. You're all spooky. I don't see him. What's the greatest boat of all time? The Love Boat? King of Red Lions is pretty good. I'm adding that to the hat. Boat. In it goes. Twitch. Oh, I was like reading a new chat from a new person. Thank you, Firehair. What do they don't even say anything. What is that? How does that possibly work? What is the end game there? What is that? Doesn't even make any sense. Eagle the Wreck, thank you for 14 months. Appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Be back where we started. To find him 3 times. Wouldn't be shocked at the final. I bet he's gonna hide behind the gravestones next. Right, it didn't even have the link. Wait, did Chuck say something? I missed this. Daytona. Did Chuck say something about Daytona song? You didn't know the Daytona song? Oh, Chuck, it's the greatest. That was like the song of my childhood. Honestly, even I had Rolling Start stuck in my head almost more often. Rolling Start. Oh, I was pretty bad at it too, honestly, but it's just so fun. It's so cool. I don't think I ever played it well. I just liked it anyways. Rolling Start. I think I went the wrong way. Not. I knew it. What'd I tell you? I knew he'd be here. Uh-oh. It's not him. I was a fool. No, he's still there. So that wasn't him? Great. Ah, he's still chasing me. I haven't actually tried Densha attack yet. I maybe should have gone the other way, but I need to make sure he's not hiding over here. Ridge Racer Type 4, best racing game soundtrack ever? Yes. Maybe best soundtrack ever. Yes. I don't think another racing game, even your F-Zeros and whatever else. Yeah, I probably would like Densha attack. Just haven't gotten to it. There you are. Oh. I saw a monster. It looked like you. Yeah, this is enough playing outside. Can you give me eyes? Fishing license. Maybe I can fish for my eyes now or something. He doesn't have to see. I'm seeing for him. There's an aquarium. Oh. So how would you have seen anything? Yeah. Yeah, let me go fishing. Alright, see you later. Oh, we get a fishing minigame now? I would like that. Fishy Week's back on the menu. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. Neat. I get it. Got a crab. That's good. Yeah, I should get my fishing net. I feel like I gotta be able to catch something important eventually here. That's a pretty good fishing game. I like this. I kind of rotate it, stay in the green. Got it. Come on, give me something good. What if I had to like get special bait or something? Okay. I feel like I should be getting my eyes somehow. If I went to the aquarium, I would know they were looking for something. Maybe we back out for now. These fish are too small for my pockets. Okay. Oh yeah, I've seen the. I used to like the Rankin Bass animated Hobbit movie quite a bit. The greatest adventure begins. Right. Actually, yeah, I always really liked that version. I like it more than the Peter Jackson ones. The Return of the King movie, not nearly as good, but it has some banger songs, right? When there's a whip, there's a way. When there's a whip, there's a way. When there's a whip, we don't wanna go to war today, but the Lord of the Archers, nay, nay, nay. When there's a whip, there's a way. And it's Frodo of the Nine Fingers and the Ring of Doom. Why does he have 9 fingers? Where is the Ring of Doom? Mr. Bear? Like I'm not even here. He's just ignoring me. Who are you talking to? Ah. Oh, he's on the phone. What the fuck? I'm gonna see this guy's entire life or something, aren't I? The hell? Stairs are unblocked. It definitely has some Undertale stank on, although it's a good deal more adults. Undertale, yeah, there's a little bit of that, you know, for lack of a better word, also randomness. But this game is much more. It has like that dark subversiveness that Undertale doesn't actually have a lot of that necessarily. There's an earnestness to Undertale. It's like about a hoarder. I mean, yeah. I really like Undertale. Oh, things are going poorly. Yeah. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This guy's having a bad time in here. Is the cereal, is the milk and cereal soup, a sauce, or a drink? Ugh. It's just, like, it's its own thing. It's cereal milk. Holy shit. What is gonna happen up here? We gotta do the stair skip like in Mario 64. Can't even see, just assuming we're going up still. Gonna keep going. Is soup in a bread bowl a sandwich? No. That's a funny question though. I haven't heard that one before. I think I'm gonna start going down. Nothing's happening. Let's leave. Oh, don't jump. Oh, he's happy. Okay, phew. You good? Gonna leave you now. Please don't scooch. I cannot help this bear. Oh boy. Fuck. Jesus. Well, I guess we're following these footprints. Any thoughts of the Ring of Power Super? I have not seen a single second of it. As much as I love Lord of the Rings, man, I'm just like, I just don't think I'm interested. I just don't think I care. One thing if, like, I heard everybody go on about how great it is, but no one does. Most people are like, yeah, it's not bad. That's like the most enthusiastic people seem to ever get about it. That we find his grave. Hell yeah, my eyes. We did it. Yeah, wallet rings of power are different. Yes, they do need to solve people's problems. Maybe now I can look at that guy and find out his insecurity. Everyone knows that. I mean, the absurdist nature of the game is interesting. Now, I generally probably prefer something that is a bit more like silly, but there is actually like a story and something of a game logic to it, like a Monkey Island. This is kind of just anything goes. Yeah, I don't think any of these people are gonna have anything important for me now. There was a Wadjet Eye game on sale recently that I bought. I forget which one it was. It was kind of sci-fi looking. It was like $4 or something. Whoops, I muted it. I don't like there's a day and night cycle in this area. Just an angry person. Hey, Arbitrary Water, thank you for the raid. How's it going? We're playing Endacopia. Kind of new indie point-and-click absurdist thingy. What you doing? Oh, this was your mother? She's very angry? Oh. That's not how mayors work. You don't have to... the mayor's children don't have to do her job when she dies. She's like a salty Isabel. Her eye's twitching. Yeah, well, Timesville seems weird. Do you know about that guy who died on the power? Yeah. Some residents have gone missing. I heard about that. Yeah, I think the monster got him. Oh, the paranormal sightings I think I took care of. There's a serial killer. Oh, I think I saw that guy too. Just rumors. Yeah, rumors can't hurt you. It always fascinates me that like the one legacy of floppy disks is going to be that we just associate a picture of them with saving things. The idea of saving things to memory. That is the legacy. Oh, a Scooby-Doo hallway. That's my, if I interact with that disc, I can save my game. That's what it's for. How am I feeling? Feeling nosy. You know, this guy looks like an Undertale character. What's with the black slime? What you leaking, buddy? Loose life energy, okay. Raw materialized life energy. Likes it raw. Tell me about this life energy. Yeah, energy! Hey, New York Jet. I can't... Now, if this was a LucasArts adventure game, I would assume that this ghost is important for some reason, and here I just cannot possibly begin to understand how. Let me get lost. Rude. That's a good idea. Who's the greatest ghost of all time? That's not a word for the hat. We'll see how Casper fares. Excuse me. That songs. Garbage. This looks like... Didn't one of us have a room like this in Tomodachi Life? He was a very friendly ghost, Casper. It was interesting finding out that apparently every girl my age had a crush on the actor who played human Casper for like 2 minutes in that movie when they were kids. That was apparently a thing. I have no idea what the kid's name is. The hell? Okay. Oh. Oh no! Not that. That's better. 2 people. Birds. I have my eyes. Boy, I have no idea what they're trying to tell me here, huh? Oh. Do you like that? Whoa. I used to love those things when I was a kid. Why not? Why are you not touching it? Touch it. It's important. Just touch it. What? Look at it then. Some kind of globule. That's great. We want the globule. I don't see what else I could possibly do with this. They're coming back here later. Guy wanted me to go visit his aquarium. Oh, this place is open now because it's night. Oh, it's the aquarium. Hello. Oh, this is the stuff I caught. Alright, so that was related. Some fish wake up with the sun while others like, oh, I can catch different fish at night. Whoops. I think I fished during the day before. Okay, so this part is open now. Hey, this looks like that other room. I should make that other room look like this one. Light on, fan spinning, glued to the floor. Neutral temperature. Be busted. Okay. All right. Okay. This part, what is this part supposed to represent? I forget if the window was down or not. Is it halfway down? The light was on and the fan was spinning, which... I mean, is that... Which one indicates spinning, do you think? What is this? Is this supposed to be the temperature? It said it was like normal, so halfway. Yeah, this is the thermometer, I guess. Alright, let's go. We'll take a look again. Go in and out till it's nighttime. Okay. So, let's really pay attention here now. It's all little details. The window appears to be closed? Kind of hard to tell, actually. Half open? Now the fan's not moving. Neutral temperature. The TV is not working. We have the globule. Neutral temperature. Oh, Gengar did pretty well on the ghost poll, huh? Which would you pick for best portable? Like, from this list of games? Oh, it's Link's Awakening in that list. Home Alone. Does it change ever? No. What's that? Who's that? There's 4. It's a matter of like 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, there was a 4 on there before, wasn't there? No. You think those are eyes or breasts? Like, again, I think I get the idea of what they want me to do here, but I don't know. They do have eyelashes. I feel like this is looking just like that room now.
No.
No?
No.
Oh, fair enough. Right? Turn this on. We have this to 4. This thing should be in the middle. It said medium temperature. I assume that's what they want. Maybe we'll come back here. Good on Robert Culp. If it's nighttime, I can probably go inside this place. Oh, this is the entrance. I want to go back to the clown area. Maybe we can look at the blue guy. You still don't know which clowns we want to kill exactly. That's interesting. When I push that button. Just bringing, okay. What's the point of that? Yeah, I just don't know. Alright, let's call him a buffoon then. Blue buffoon. How do you spell buffoon? How many O's a buffoon? He didn't seem impressed. There are 2 F's. I blew it. I didn't care. Whoa. Guy's dressed like Matt McMuscles. That's where I got my eyes. I'm not doing that again. Nope, not doing that again. What do you think we should do? Wait, what? Yeah, I know I need the microphone, but he's not going to let me use the microphone. Looks a bit antique, yep. Yeah, I've picked, Clown Cinema. Oh, they do relate to the theater. Holy shit. Alright. I should have picked up on this. Ah. Alright, let's see which ones die and which ones don't. Do you think that's dead or just like I'm gonna put a question mark for that one. I'm not sure if that counts as dead. Maybe injured. Just injured. This guy seems pretty dead. So that's a dead. She had sex. Maybe. She's dead. That one was rough, huh? A little too realistic. So he also seems alive, maybe just maimed. So I'll put a question mark. Maybe just hit him once. Hey, Dan Reichert! Thank you for the raid, Dan. I didn't even know you were streaming tonight. Pizzarani, thank you for following. Appreciate it. Thank you, Dan. What were you playing? What were you up to? Playing lots of the... Oh, yes. Dan was really excited about the chicken, everybody. Thank you again, Pizzarani. We're learning about which clowns died. That seems dead. We'll call that clown dead. Want to show off Ivy and get achievement Soul Calibur. Ah, nice. God, Soul Calibur's a good video game, huh? So, I remember we saw this one before. I forget what his fate was. This looks like another is hurt. Put a question mark. This guy died, I remembered. This bad laughing gas. We're gonna watch it play out though. Yeah, that's easy flatlined. Alright, last one. Alright! I guess this one just scraped his knee. Incredible that was the last one. Very good. Fantastic. Alright. Alright. Hurt. They can get like extra hurt. There's stages of hurt which concern me now that I realize that. Let's see. Maybe it's just you're dead. You're dead. You're dead. You're only scraped your knee. You're dead. Oh, there we go. That was the answer. Oh, it's the knife. That one guy went a night. Well, that was fun. Yeah, is this legal? Do I need to call the cops? With permission, sure. Do you have a permission? No. I'm triggered. This guy's shirt is backwards. Like they originally made the sprite to paint like the other way and just reversed it. You just reverse this guy's sprite, but now this doesn't work anymore. This is probably very pedantic of me. Oh, maybe he knows something about the blue guy. Yeah. So it's just like you, except they're blue. Boom. Grub told me about this game. The perfect blue buffoon. Maybe I'm supposed to say literally the perfect blue buffoon. Write that down. I called him a blue buffoon. Didn't like that. What's your name? Oh, 2 O's. Luke and Luke. Buffoon the pathetic red buffoon. Yeah. Maybe. Okay, so that's everything else to say with that. Did you two earn those names? Yeah, there we go. They're assigned from birth. What do you do, Boone? I'm gonna beat your game. I would like to see you fall in a hole. I really want to get a dunk tank for Dan at a community meetup sometime. Yeah, we're beating your game, dude. What'd I get? The joy of playing? Fuck you. Oh, you could tell me what your brother's insecure about. I have an idea for a prize. Beat your game. You have to say it. There we go. There we go. I would probably also be in the dunk tank too, and that'd be fine. It sounds fun. Alright, let's go play this game. Oh, this is just like that mini game in Beavis and Butthead Virtual Stupidity. What do you think we're trying to do here? Connect 4? I almost did. It'll be easiest to just make it max. No. And we had to talk to something wrong with this game. There's a missing ball. We had to probably find the ball. Great. Alright, we'll go find a ball. Maybe that clown I'm about to kill has it. That's right, he's in here. We can use the gun over there. This guy, maybe it's his nose. Alrighty. Okay. Well then. Let's try that again. Okay, I see what's happening here. Even just touching him with my mouse cursor. Okay. Okay, alright. God, am I gonna have to lower my sensitivity? We'll see. We'll be very careful. Okay, it's fine. There we go. We all see what's going on here now. Oh boy. Like Piruin or whatever. Kiruin. Irritating stick. Kind of fun though. Yes, this trauma center stuff. Oh, fun. That's like kind of neat. Is there a trauma center just for PC? That would probably be the best way to play those games. You don't have a DS anymore. Remember there's a Wii version? Hey, I knew it. All right. How do I get in here? Just DS and Wii, that's too bad. Granted, a DS emulation, but... Alright, here we go. That's a bingo, baby. That's disappointing. All right, that's my prize. I've beaten your game, Boone. Yeah, what makes your brother insecure? Tell me. Is his smell? Oh, hell yeah. All right, see you later. This is gonna be sweet. That's a new guy. Look at us go. Look at these proggies. Out of control. Your smell. Oh no. This is getting mean, getting personal. Woof. Uh-oh. Oh, we got him. I'm absolutely right. Oh, God. Oh, man. What is this prize, by the way? What's going on with this cat? Ah, I bet this will help the lovebirds. I wonder if I need to give it to him or her first. Let's see. Yeah, ask me when I read the comments. A gift from the girl who works near the bouncy castle. I knew it. Got hearts on it. Uh-oh. Ooh. Go talk to her. All right. Leave. Leave! It's got Kenny voice. I think this guy's getting stuck over there. That's good. Alright. There was that gun before. I feel like I should get that while I'm here. Alright. Looks like it's a... Oh, guys, this is a Mad Dog McCree-like. What's going on? Okay. Uh-oh. Let's do it. Oh, yeah, I'm ready for this. It's gonna be an innocent showing up at some point. I just know it. Right in the head. My reflexes are too sharp. Oh, you thought you'd be small? You think you can get too small for me? I see you. Music. I'm ready. Oh, pretty far away this time. Damn. My bad. Okay. No hesitation. Whoa. It's huge. Got him. We'll take one shot. Whew. Yeah, the simulates police lots are stacking up, baby. Oh, cool. I have a skateboard now. That's neat. That'll probably be important later. I don't know. Whoa. I may have to use my skateboard to put on a good performance. I can do a kickflip or something. Can't skate here. Shit. That was my best idea. Okay. Here we go. Oh. I got this. Yeah. You like that? Thought you would. Oh. Jump. It's kind of messing me up because they're not in sync. There we go. Killed it. What? I'm not a maggot. I'll defend my maggot tree. Fun stems from problems. Fix problems, there's no fun left. Oh no. Did I leave? Dance, monkey, dance. Uh-oh. Oh shit. Oh yeah, this again. I like this stuff. I see what's going on here. Oh, I can punch you? I thought that was a punching time. Why can't I punch? Am I missing? What's going on there? Oh, hit. You think I have to hit the balls back? Didn't even occur to me. Oh, you're so smart, Chuck. Chuck is so smart. Ah! Getting faster. Running out of stamina. I'm at stamina problems. Ow. We did it. Excuse me. Am I back here? Is there unfinished business? We're a team. I don't want my adventure to stop. What do you want? You need a map of this house? Extract that information and translate to an illustrated diagram of this place. Okay. Let's not give the weird monster in the toilet a map of our house. Maybe. Oh, that's interesting. Different perspective. Oops. So where am I? I wonder if I can open up one of those doors now. Yep. Is like an important milestone. I want to leave. Yep, there we go. Oh, it's good to have a pencil in these kind of games. And a flashlight. Help. That's funny. Oh no, somebody ripped off the pages. That's not nice. Never touching a stinky sock, I see. I have a flashlight, I got a skateboard, I've got pencil. Maybe I should draw something on this guy's face. Okay. And the Charlie Brown. Okay. Pretty good to me. Can't back out. Got a little tongue. Fill in his little mouth. Huh. Maybe I need to replicate my face? Must be something pretty specific wants me to do. Maybe there's a clue on my computer. Have I ever seen Scrubs? Oh, Fire Hair. I'm not much of a Scrubs guy myself. Burr, burr, burr. Is that creepy? It's Henry. Is this counting thing? Something with this truck. I'll write that. No more soccer. But I liked when we played soccer. It was fun. Beast Reincarnation seems like it's, yeah, it's... Yes, that door still doesn't work. Is this just to tell me I need to draw all three of these things? Maybe I didn't draw enough of a nose last time for it. I don't know. Eyes. Nose. And mouth. I mean, no, everyone's like, it's like an average of it's like a 7 out of 10, it seems like, you know? Now, I get why, like, I do get why sometimes people are like a 7 out of 10 is a good game, right? It is. The problem is, we have access to so many games now that it is kind of like, why would I just play a good game? Why would I not try to find a game that is going to be more special than that to me somehow? Right, so I think that's why sometimes a 7 seems like you may as well be giving a game a 3 to some people. Interesting. Huh. Scribbly. So that's the box that thing came in. You like the sound of 10 to be something you were interesting? Sure. I think often sound of 10's like, at least for me, a lot of times they aren't doing something interesting. Oh, okay, well. The mysteries are getting solved here. Interesting. Pick that up. There you go, just click it. Alright, it's on the paper pieces. Four. This is interesting, huh? This is the back. Oh god, my flashlight ran out of batteries. Oh god, oh god. Oh god. Yep. Yep. Blessing, thank you for the raid. Hey, thank you, Blessing. Hi, everybody. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good stream. Hope you're playing something fun. I'm playing a game called Endacopia. It's kind of this new creepy, point and click adventure game thingy. Did I keep those pages I got? Yes. Okay, so we're getting an idea of what they want me to draw. But yeah, I hope you're having a great night. Thank you so much. Yeah, I was Blessing up too. Moon? I have not played Moon, actually. Alright, let's go find those other pages in there. Like, for me, like, Splatoon Raiders was a 7 out of 10 for me because it was a fun game that I don't think did any particular thing exceptionally well or creatively or more, you know, it was fun. And that was, like, about almost all I could say about it. Even, like, some of the usual Splatoon aesthetics that, like, are interesting in the series with the music and the look wasn't all that important in that game. Yeah, they're doing a bit of a parody of those, old point-and-click games. For sure. There's one more page somewhere. I'm worried about my... There we go. What we're gonna see in here is probably something terrifying. Oh boy. I'm probably not gonna watch the Fire Emblem Direct tomorrow, man. Like, yeah, I know what that. I know enough about that game. I'm going to play that game. I don't really need to like in-depth. I don't know. I want to say it's not like it's spoilers, but like I'm gonna be all right. That game's gonna teach me about itself when I play it, you know. Whoa. What's going on here? I often feel like that with like single game directs. It feels like the Ocarina of Time remake direct, a game we don't really know that much about. Sure. Hey babe, point and clicking's going pretty well. Solving another puzzle. Oops. All right, guess we're gonna draw that. Hopefully don't have to be too precise. There we go, good enough. You're welcome. This is just Hope's Our Runner. It does have that vibe. Uh-oh. Your name is Baldy. Oh, I do know your name. What was it? Scribbly. Yep. The handy hand drawing helper at your service. Easy to say. I need help drawing a map. A map of the house. This Scribbly song. Oh wow, here we go. It's happening. We did it. Well, go show the monster in the toilet. Our map. This'll do, pig. Oh, we didn't lose all our stuff this time. Chapter 2. Wondering about that. Alright, you guys. I think that'll do it. Did these kids get together? Good for them. What about your relationship? The old ball and chain. Wow, sexist, outdated views. He's a bit cray-cray, but I like it. Ha 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 ha. The hub-like area. I want to live in a hub-like area. Sorry about not using the microphone. Your circus kind of sucked, dude. That lifestyle wasn't healthy. So presumably the next part loop is just doing the rest of the stuff in the Time Town or whatever that was. I don't even know if there was other stuff to do. in this thing. Maybe. I'm saving again because I'm crazy. Yeah, we can. There might be 3 chapters. You finish each of these areas, and that's probably the game. Yeah. Maybe we'll finish this one stream. I don't know. I enjoyed it. Did enjoy it. Did you all enjoy watching that one? Let me know. Definitely do have to get back to Elden Ringing as well. But I'm glad Grub recommended that one for me. That's Endacopia again. Endacopia. Better, yeah. Payne was just excited I wasn't playing Elden Ring. Oh, Mary is still streaming. Mary's playing. I bet I'm gonna rate Mary. She's getting back. I'm going to bed soon. Maybe not though. Sephiria. Don't know what Sephiria is, though. I feel like okay. I just almost rated Sephiria instead of Mary Kish. I fixed it. Don't worry, everybody. I noticed. I was reading the name. You still. All right, we're rating Mary. So say hi to Mary, everybody. Thank you for hanging out. I'll see you on the Bombcast tomorrow. Be a good time. You all take care, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Say hi to my PP. That means portal pal if you don't know. That's what Mary's my portal pal. We say PP. We both do. It's a term of endearment. It's okay.